Hi, welcome back again. We've made significant progress with the palette, which I'll shortly get around to showing you. I've basically gone around the various effigies on a portion of it, sank down the backgrounds, and then started working in the detail, which I need as a guide to show me where the detail was, because obviously when I remove the top surface, all of my lines, everything disappears, so I don't want to get caught in no man's land, as you'll probably hear. So I'm going to show you around the palette shortly, give you an idea of how far I've gone and what I've done, and so that you can get a good idea on it. If you're not sure about what I'm doing, please take a look at the other videos. There's 5 of them. This is the 6th, and we'll look at it from there, okay? So thank you for joining me again. Let's have a look. Bună dimineața din Romania. Good morning from Romania. As you can see, I've gone a long way with this now. I've taken out the backgrounds, as I said I would do, defining all the shapes. So I'm actually a long way along with this part of the area. So what I'm going to continue doing is removing the backgrounds from this area and defining the shapes. This is probably the first part that you would be doing. You'd be defining the shapes out, and then you'd be giving them the 3D effect, as we can see in here. These all need to be rounded. This not so much. There's a lot of damage to it. It's really hard to see what was really fine and what wasn't now, because this is obviously ancient. So we're doing as best as we can. So that's what I'm going to be carrying on doing in a moment. I'm going to be carrying on clearing out all the background so that the images stand out for themselves. And then I'll take you around the piece and show you a little bit about it. And forgive me for saying aliens in ancient history. It's easy to see why people thought aliens were around here. Maybe they were, I don't know. But it's easy to see why there's a major misconception about things. Everyone has an idea about things, and they interpret them in their own way. You can see that in many cultures all over the world. So this is one of them. Okay then, I'll carry on now. And as you can see, well, if you can see properly, I hope you can, I'm removing the background material from the outside of the particular piece or effigy. I'm trying to keep the edges as straight as possible and vertical as possible, to save me a lot of work when I finally start clearing off this paint area, because once I've done that, I'm in no man's land unless I've you know, made the necessary cuts and guide marks to tell me exactly what the figure looked like, because I'm obviously working from a paper template. And there's a scary thing here as well. I've only got a certain depth to go to, so if I was to inadvertently knock something away from one of these pieces, I'd end up sinking quite a lot of this proportion down, so that it doesn't get, you know, a big hollow in it. So I'd have to actually sink down. It's actually very scary at this present time. So this is what I'm doing. I'm clearing this out. In fact, I think you can remember if you watch, I think it's part 4, where I'm actually clearing this area out. We did see what I call a bird's nest come from this area. It wasn't important here, but that's how it works anyway. Have a look at that video and you'll see exactly what I mean. Larger chisel, bigger area. Shortly I'll be using the scraping technique, which I also showed you within this palette area here. Again, look at the other videos, you'll see much better than you will from me talking about it. And what I'll do is I'll take the camera and just show you around the roughing out areas which I've done so far, so you can see a better image of them, because at the moment they're distant from you. It's very difficult to get a camera close to something like this, unfortunately. More iron deposits, excuse me, more iron deposits. This piece is actually riddled with them, and they're very, very hard, and very hard to smooth out. There's really nothing I can do with those. I can try and smooth them out, probably with some wet and dry papers or something like that, but they're going to be very, very difficult to deal with on this. Right, I'm going to sharpen my chisel, which is necessary, and I do it very often, and then I'll get back to you and I'll show you a little bit of what I've done in a perspective manner. Okay then, thank you. Right, hello again. Firstly, I must point out that nothing on here is complete. You can see that I've defined shapes, and I'm actually going round. You see how I'm doing this now? It should be pretty clear by this time. I'm actually going around each little character with the chisel, shaping it, defining its outer border, and then once I've done that, I can then take this background out that you see here. Again, this isn't complete, but it gives you some idea now of the process. And this is exactly, by the way, how the ancient Egyptians did their bas-relief carvings. Exactly the same. They would draw, take away the backgrounds, and then start detailing the various items in between there. So if I pull back a bit, you can now see the status of the project. I would estimate that it's probably 30% complete, and then we go into the detailing of the various feet and the ribs and everything else that's going on. So now you can get a pretty good idea. Now what I wanted to discuss with you too is that for a long time people, would say that you do this with a hammer and chisel. When you go into the Great Pyramid, it must have been aliens. No, that isn't the case. What it is painstaking, very, very hard work. And people often forget that in the days that we've got now, where everything's completely mass produced. They forget that there's someone still around who's willing to spend hours and hours on something like this. And it is hours. It's a lot of hours. You get your cell phone or you plug in your computer and bang, Mum, I want this. It isn't like that now. Well, it's like that now, but it wasn't like that then. So this is really what it's about. Painstaking, arduous work, detailing, And then in the hope that in the days of the old days, of course, you'd present this to your vizier, or you'd pop along and see, oh, I think that's a little bit over here, and you'd have to make alterations. And that is another part that we'll get onto sometime in the future, design and what people's perception of it is. And another facet also is that these lions' heads with the snaking heads are symbolic. I believe it's Dendera. There's a thing where there's supposed to be a helicopter downstairs in the sanctuary down there. Well, it looks like a helicopter to some people, but maybe it was someone's interpretation of something else. I don't really believe. If that was the case, then there'd be helicopters carved on every piece of stone in Egypt. I don't believe it at all. Anyway, this is what it's about. So I shall carry on now, because as you can see, I'm well underway. You get a good idea, and I'll try and show you some different angles. And this is really what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. And so, anyway, thank you for joining me. This is part 6. Don't forget, there is another 5 in the series. And please look at them, because they give you an idea. I go from start to finish. So we're about 30% complete. I'm not sure of the hour total yet. I'll post that on this video, in fact, at the end. Okay then, thank you for looking. Take care now. Bye bye.